LeBron James and Stephen Curry. Hmm. Two rivals, definitely. But now they are friends? So how did the unlikely pairing become one? We'll talk about that and more. You're watching BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You are listening to it live on Real Wise Radio. And the morning show begins right about now.
Come true.
Well, good morning, Shifter, and welcome to BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. I'm Cole Johnson. And for the next 60 minutes, sit back and relax as we get you and keep you enlightened, engaged, informed, entertained, and spiritually fed. Now, along with the budding friendship that is now existing between Steph and LeBron, we're also going to talk about a county sheriff and a state governor. They're at odds, and why are they at odds? We'll touch on that in program's Spotlight. And in Lighting the Way, we'll touch on friendship and what God has to say about that. All those are for later, but for now, let's get you properly started up. And here's what's taking place in the world today. The Boeing Starliner crew, who have been in orbit for more than 60 days, could have months more before they return back to Earth. And when they do, it may not be on the Starliner capsule that in June initially brought them into the International Space Station for what was supposed to be a week-long stay. Now, if the Starliner is ultimately deemed unsafe, the astronauts Barry Butch Wilmore and Sunita Sunny Williams, or Suni, may instead come back home in 6 months' time, or February, aboard a SpaceX vehicle. NASA officials announced at a Wednesday news conference no decision has been yet made, but the agency indicated that multiple plans exist to get the veteran astronauts back to Earth, including having them hitch a ride on a Russian Soyuz craft. Taylor Swift's three Eras Tour concerts in Vienna were canceled after government officials confirmed a planned terrorist attack at Ernst Happel Stadium, the local concert promoter announced on Wednesday. The security station was very serious, and a tragedy was averted. Austria Chancellor Karl Nehammer wrote in social media posts, quote, "We have no choice but to cancel the three shows for everybody's safety. All tickets will be automatically refunded within the next 10 business days," close quote. Swift has been set to perform in Vienna on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A skydiving instructor caught in a short-lived whirlwind was killed Friday after crashing into a Southern California field. A student on a tandem skydive with the instructor was hospitalized with major injuries after the reported accident in Paris, a city in Riverside County, officials confirmed. The sheriff's office responded also to the scene. They identified the skydiving instructor. The 28-year-old woman was of Menifee, California. Now, according to sheriff's records, about 2:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, deputies were dispatched to Skydive Paris, one of the largest, most state-of-the-art and highly respected drop zones in the world. And that is according to the Skydive Paris business website. Blake Lively is Vogue's cover star, but not everyone is happy about it. The actor's shoot was directed and photographed by famed filmmaker Baz Luhrmann, who designed a setting for the magazine shoot that was inspired by British director Alfred Hitchcock. Lively is joined by fellow actor and friend Hugh Jackman on the magazine's lauded September issue cover. And she said to Vogue about the shoot, quote, "I'm a very shy person, so I don't like doing photo shoots, really. Because when I'm acting, I'm playing a character, and I don't feel super comfortable in front of a camera. It's part of why I don't want to be in magazines." I know it's not something I'm supposed to say. I mean, this is I think the first cover I've done in 4 years, close quote. A man is out on bond after being arrested in San Antonio for allegedly booby-trapping toilets in bathrooms of local businesses and causing explosions with, quote, pressure-activated, close quote, fireworks. A 46-year-old adult male was arrested on August 1st on charges of, quote, arson causing reckless damage and bodily injury, close quote, a San Antonio Police Department spokesperson told USA Today. He was released from jail on the same day on $50,000 bond and is currently awaiting indictment. Now, the 46-year-old adult male is accused of placing the, quote, pressure-activated, close quote, commercially available fireworks under toilet seats in restrooms and local businesses, thus causing injuries when someone sat down on the seat. Numerous people reported minor injuries when the explosive devices attached to the toilets detonated. Good Lord. Pop star Suga, a member of the band supergroup BTS, apologized Wednesday after police in Seoul fined him and revoked him of his license for drunk driving while on an electric scooter. The songwriter and rapper had ridden the scooter for about 500 meters or a little more than 1,600 feet before he tripped on a before he tripped when parking on Tuesday night. His label Big Hit Music, which is part of the K-pop firm Hybe, said that Suga failed a breathalyzer test conducted nearby by police and was fined, and his scooter was then taken away. The label also said, adding that the incident caused no harm to anyone or property damage thereof. And speaking of music, Tenacious D may be making a comeback after all. Jack Black told Variety after the Borderlands premiere on Tuesday that the comedy rock band, quote, will be back, close quote, following the cancellation of their Spicy Meatball tour due to his bandmate Kyle Gass's controversial comment about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump last month. Black said, quote, "We need to take a break. Everybody needs to take a break sometimes, and we'll be back. I love Tenacious D. It's probably my favorite job, if you can call it that. It's a work of art. It's my baby." Close quote. And when asked if Gass has spoken since their tour cancellation, he told the outlet, quote, "Yeah, we're friends. That hasn't changed. These things take time sometimes, and we'll be back when it feels right." Close quote. The following sports update is brought to you by the Playmakers Blog Network. On the college gridiron, unfortunately, the running back of Texas will lose running back C.J. Baxter for the season with a knee injury, and he suffered in practice on Tuesday. It will require season-ending surgery. The school announced that Wednesday. Baxter injured the LCL and the PCL to his knee. And also, Jim Harbaugh got his hand slapped by the NCAA for violations back from when he was the head coach at Michigan. To the NFL, and the Patriots won't pursue a trade for Brandon Ayuk. Quarterback Justin Fields of the Steelers will start in Friday's preseason, but Russell Wilson is still listed as the starter going into week 1 of the regular season. The Giants and Lions, they both have been fined $200,000 for getting it on the practice field. And no, I'm not talking about sex neither. Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf swings the helmet in practice. Because of that, 5 fights broke out in Seahawks practice on Wednesday. Now, one of those particular fights saw that helmet being swung by Metcalf toward his teammate, cornerback Trey Brown. The fight started with Brown and wide receiver Jake Bobo locked horns when Brown landed the right punch to Bobo's nose and blooding the wide receiver. You gotta love preseason shenanigans. To the NBA, shall we? Jazz and All-Star forward Lauri Markkanen agreed to a 5-year, $238 million extension, including $220 million in new money. He has 1 year and $18 million left on the original deal. Jeremy Lamb now is retired from the NBA after a 10-year career in the league. And from the NBA to the WNBA, they are now officially 1 week away from returning from the Olympic break. The second part of the season will resume on August the 15th. To the Diamond, shall we? Bristol Motor Speedway will host a Major League Baseball game in 2025. The longtime NASCAR track will host a game on August the 2nd of that year between the Reds and the Braves. And Bristol is, you could say it's right along the Tennessee-Virginia border. I think that's the best way you can describe it. Yeah. It's one of those border cities. This Olympic update is also brought to you by the Playmakers Blog Network. Team USA, they win their first gold in women's cycling pursuit. Congratulations to the women's cycling pursuit team. Unfortunately, Team USA will fail to medal in beach volleyball the first time ever because the men and the women tanked in the quarterfinals. U.S. men's water polo team, they defeated Australia in a penalty shootout to advance to the semifinals. Sarah Hildebrandt won gold in the 50-kilogram women's wrestling category. Quincy Hall took a surprising gold in the 400 meters on track and field in come-from-behind fashion. Team USA women's basketball, they dispatched Nigeria in pretty handily fashion, 88-74. They advanced to the semifinals. They will meet Australia in tomorrow's semis. Asia Wilson had a double-double, 20 points and 11 boards. Jackie Wilson was the catalyst, though, with 15. Now, the Team USA men's basketball, not to be outdone, they will take to the court later on today to match up with Serbia. This will be the third time in about a month's time, I think, since they met with one another. The host country, France, which put a butt whooping on Canada, which was talking so much trash, but now is going home like that Italian boxer to Imani Khalif. They will host World Cup champion Germany in the other semi. U.S. women's volleyball, they will take to the court today, 10 a.m. Eastern, in their semifinals against Brazil in a matchup, of course, against for the gold medal that took place 3 years ago in Tokyo. U.S. women's water polo, they'll take to the pool at 1:35 Eastern for the semifinals matchup against Australia. Men's 110-meter hurdles final, the women's 400-meter hurdles final, the men's javelin throw finals, and the men's 200-meter finals, they will headline track and field action for today. And as for the medal count, USA, they lead the gold medal count by 2 over China, 27-25. They basically are boat racing everybody else in the total medal count. 65 is the closest total to the U.S., who has 94. Now, turning our attention to weather across the country, as powered by the Weather Channel, it will be partly cloudy, guys, 81 degrees in Seattle. Cloudy and 76 in Minneapolis, sunny and 77 in Chicago, cloudy and 79 in St. Louis, sunny and 78 in Detroit. And going to the East Coast, it will be cloudy and 69 in Boston, rainy and 72 in New York. Sun thunderstorm mix with a high of 90 in the nation's capital. Down south, it will be partly cloudy skies at 93 in Miami, mostly sunny and 93 in Atlanta, partly cloudy and 86 in Memphis, sunny and 99 in New Orleans. Down in the southwest, it will be sunny and 102 in San Antonio, sunny and 103 in Dallas, partly cloudy and 97 in Houston. To the Rockies, it will be mostly cloudy skies and 93 in Denver, Down in the desert, it will be partly cloudy and 104 in Phoenix. It will be mostly sunny with a high in the country of 110 in Las Vegas. And over on the West Coast, it will be mostly sunny skies and 88 degrees in Los Angeles. It will be mostly mostly sunny skies with a high of 71 in the Bay Area. That's your look on weather for today. And now you have been properly started up. Later on this wonderful morning show, we'll touch on LeBron James and Steph Curry. 8 years ago, they were absolute bitter rivals. Now, they might be friends for life. We'll touch on that on our cover story. And enlighten the way, we'll touch on how friendship is supposed to be in a biblical setting. But coming up next, a county sheriff and a state governor at odds, and one wants the other gone. Tragic. Why? We'll touch on that when we get back. You're watching BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You are listening to it live on Real Wise Radio Network. We'll return right after this.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube and where you can find podcasts.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Welcome back to BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson, and Shifter, it is great that you are here with me because I am glad that you are here with me. 100% glad. You power this show. And if you want your voice to be heard, I welcome it. Go to the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel every weekday, live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, and you will get your comment read on this program. Engagement is what makes this program tick. Go to the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, and you be one amongst Shift Nation like the two that I'm about to come and introduce to you now. My man, Cool McCain, who's fresh off of his Eagles Elite podcast broadcast last night. He says, the bestest of bros? Good Thursday, buddy, Shift Nation. Well, it was Stephen Curry that announced that LeBron James was going to be the flag bearer. So one of the two flag bearers in the opening ceremony. So who knows? Who knows, brother? Who knows? And also tune into his show tomorrow, Playmakers Sports Talk. So the Real Play Caller Sports new YouTube channel. That's at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central. If you want all things sports, go to the hardest working content creator that I know. And Ryan McCarthy, no credentials acquired fame. He says, "Good morning, fellow shifters. Good morning to you, sir. Glad that you are aboard. It is a pleasure and a privilege to have you here with me." Now, I did say that we are going to talk about a governor and a sheriff. Huh? Well, if you know about the Sonia Massey shooting that took place last month, the genesis of it is because of that reason. And in today's program Spotlight, we will touch on that animosity, that enmity. I think that's the best way to put it. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who was once considered one of the VP candidates for Vice President Kamala Harris to go on her ticket, and Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, they are formally calling for Sangamon County's sheriff, Jack Campbell, to resign, expressing frustration with how the sheriff responded to the shooting death of one Sonia Massey. Now, there's been a lot of scrutiny that has been placed on Campbell, who hired former Deputy Sean P. Grayson back in May of last year, despite his 2 DUI convictions. Grayson has also been charged by a grand jury with 3 counts of first-degree murder after shooting Massey in her own home 2 days after Independence Day, or July the 6th. Campbell, quote, has failed to explain how he ended up hiring this deputy sheriff who resigned from other departments, close quote. And this is coming from Pritzker's own lips after an unrelated news conference early Wednesday in Chicago. He goes on to say, quote, he's failed to put forth reforms that clearly need to be made, close quote. Now, in another statement, Pritzker said that he was calling for Campbell's resignation and explained it this way, quote, so the Springfield and Sangamon County community can begin to rebuild and restore trust between the citizens and the sheriff's department, close quote. The governor said that it was outrageous that Campbell had yet to meet with the Massey family in the month since the shooting and the murder. Campbell, who has reiterated his intent to stay on the force, said in a statement that he has tried to meet with the family 4 times. Each time he got the no, sir. Campbell said that he would still like to have that meeting, saying, quote, the sheriff's office is willing to modify our hiring practices in order to prevent an incident like this from occurring again. However, before changes can be made, it's important to identify the problem, close quote. He went on to say, quote, we have used a process we believe was consistent with statewide standards. Now, if these standards are deficient, we would advocate a change at all necessary levels. I was overwhelmingly elected to lead the sheriff's office through both good times and bad. I'm fully prepared to continue leading my office and serving the residents of Sangamon County through this difficult period, ensuring we learn from this tragedy and work toward a better future. Close quote. Now, again, Campbell also believes that calls for his resignation are politically motivated, considering that Pritzker is Democrat. Quote, we need to heal and unite. The one responsible is in jail and will never work enforcement again. My resignation are nothing more than political maneuvering during a tragic event and only hurt the good citizens of Sangamon County. Close quote. Well, what also hurts the good citizens of Sangamon County and Springfield and the Massey family, it basically would be, let me see if I could put it in broad, clear, plain terms. It would be the inability for you to understand, Mr. Campbell, that you put forth a guy who had a stain on his record and you still put him on your force. So you have now people who are in your community who, yeah, you overwhelmingly got elected into office, who are asking questions that you would normally ask any elected official. Is he, in this case, he is he capable of making a decision similar to that of putting forth a former deputy like Grayson? And if so, will the situation that took place last month with him and Sonia Massey happen with my family? So you got to understand, sir, that is a question that is well capable of being asked of the citizenry of Sangamon County and Springfield. And it may be politically motivated, it may not be. But I know what isn't, or the words of my mouth when I say you have to make better decisions when you hire somebody. And you have to trust that if you have something afoul as someone who has been off the force for disciplinary reasons, there has to be a reason why he is not toting a badge. That's something that you will always have to look in the mirror and understand innately. And that concludes Program Spotlight. And that's my perspective. What's yours? Oh, speaking of perspective, you have one that is a licensed therapist. You have another who just simply is a wonderful, wonderful, bright mind. Join Latoya the therapist and my brother, the Atlantic, Eric Butler Sr. in perspective. Catch these two beautiful, bright minds and wonderful hearts tackle the, I guess, matters of the heart and matters of the human ability and anatomy. The heart, the mind, and the soul. Perspective, live tonight and every Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central on the Roku TV via BS3, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network Facebook page. That's right. Catch Chef Jeff's wife and Cullinan live perspective tonight and every Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV. Just hit that BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Network YouTube channel and BS3 Network Facebook page. Coming up, rivals turn friends? LeBron James and Steph Curry, their 2024 Olympics journey has culminated in a kumbaya moment. You're watching BS3 presents the morning shift with Coach on the Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You are listening to it live on Real Wise Radio. And we will return right after this. This is a BS3 Network presentation. Adrian Shawan.
There was a man talking about where the homebodies at, where the women at, and the women was stitching it and was like, we at home.
Scotty Knox.
Another pet peeve of mine, right? First date, if you show up with the ponytail that come out at the top of your head, it will not be a second date.
Butler.
I want people to think independently and freely. She's not. $100 for lunch. I almost got up and walked off.
A show that asks only one question. Is it Wednesday yet? Live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central.
See everybody talking like they doing what we doing, but these brothers is red and they ain't moving like we moving, and everywhere we go.
Rams fans all around the world.
It's a beautiful thing to be a Rams fan right now. Stafford's back. We're going to see about Cup. And running back Kerryon Williams to a return.
Lend me your ears, or should I say lend Playmaker your ears, as he breaks down week by week everything in the Los Angeles Rams canon.
Number 99, Aaron Donald. Can't wait for 2029 to come to know that you are going in the Hall of Fame, and it should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Join the Playmaker as he breaks down everything Los Angeles Rams style in Ramily Talk on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Jay Caraway.
You got some that can't seem to put the phone down. The signs on the freeway now. Put it down, it can wait, whatever. You know, like, that's crazy to me.
CJ Boyd.
You have some adults that ain't got no sense, bro. The moment they feel attacked, they gonna handle you accordingly.
Brothers talking about real life issues. BS3 Network proudly presents Elevate live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Well, welcome back to the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. So glad that you're here with me, Shifter. And again, if you want to join us, just go to the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, and you could be one of the many in Shift Nation, like the newest member, my man, Vinny Hardy. It is wonderful to see you, my brother. He says, "What's up, Cole?" Bron and Steph going from angry man emoji and huff emoji to bro shaking hand emoji as they age, just like Magic and Larry did. Wonderful point, brother. And I do agree with you. I think competition has made, you would say strange bedfellows, but no, I think competition has made a bond out of them. And now they have stories that they can go and tell at time and memoriam. And we've seen this with Larry and Magic. I mean, the last time they met in on the biggest stage of them all in the NBA was what, 37 years ago. And, you know, they still are talking about when they clashed in 84 and 85 and 87 in the finals. You know, so yeah, you make a very good point. And thank you for inviting me on your show yesterday. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. Good conversation with two good brothers. I should say two good new brothers of mine, Vinny Hardy and Terry Brown. One from the city, one from the country, both from Kentucky, and both represent the Commonwealth very well, I may add. Cast Talk Wednesday, you can catch them every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Roku TV via BS3, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, the Vinny Hardy YouTube channel, and the Cast Talk WED Facebook page. It was great to be invited on that platform, and I totally appreciate it. And I look forward to it again. And of course, I look forward to inviting you and Terry onto this platform so we can discuss matters, I guess, pretty similar to what I'm about to talk about now. LeBron James, Stephen Curry. Now, back 8 years ago, we weren't thinking that we were going to talk about them in kumbaya-ish type of ways, but it looks like we are. And in today's cover story, we're going to touch on how they were rivals at one point, but now with their Olympics experience, they've become friends, not just teammates. I mean, you're seeing Steph throwing alley-oops and lobs to LeBron James. And you're seeing LeBron return the favor, delivering a pass to Curry for 3-pointers. Now, Curry, who this is his first Team USA foray and first Olympics action, in a team meeting before the Olympics began, he was the one who announced LeBron James as the male flag bearer for the opening ceremony for the then upcoming 2024 Paris Olympiad. And that's quite telling and fitting, because seeing Curry and James celebrating each other and relishing this opportunity and teammates on a 5-on-5 Olympics basketball team and a bursting friendship that has seemed to have blossomed from it, this did not seem possible if we were to turn back the clock, say, to 2016. Now, this was, of course, right at the heart of when LeBron and Chef were locked into a fierce competition in the NBA Finals, and not just the teams that were clashing, but they were also competing for MVPs, and they were jockeying for a, quote, best player on the planet, close quote. All of this at the same time, and unfortunately, all at the other's expense. Hence why when Vinny said it's sort of like with Magic and Larry, the same thing happened. The the biggest of achievements came at the other's expense for the most part. Both men wanted the same things, and they both could not have them simultaneously, obviously. But now there's a pursuit where both of them, just like Magic and Larry in 1992, they can achieve the same goal, an Olympic gold medal. Well, so the U.S., well, they'll be playing Serbia later on today. Again, I told you they'll be tipping off at 3 p.m. Eastern in the semifinal game. Of course, the winner will be playing the France-Germany winner for gold. But the friendship between Steph and LeBron, it definitely was forged on the battlefield of the hardwood. For 4 consecutive years, between 2015 and 2018, their two teams met, but it was always a battle between Steph versus LeBron. Now, it was a rivalry that did not seem or did not scream friendship, and the tension was there. You can feel it. Curry himself has called it, quote, a healthy resentment of somebody who's standing in your way, close quote. Now, we talked about Larry and Magic. It was also similar to the Sylvester Stallone and the Arnold Schwarzenegger rivalry of the 1980s, when basically they wanted to be the number one guy at the box office. They wanted to be the top box office action hero. And because of it, there was tension and there was a feud. And they tried to one-up each other with every movie they made. Curry and James were the NBA's box office stars in the 2010s. And they both wanted top billing, and they both wanted to knock the other off to get to the top billing. And just like Stallone and Schwarzenegger finally appeared in movies together and the tension dissipated, the same thing happened with LeBron and Steph. LeBron said about this, quote, the game of basketball doesn't last forever, and you don't want to waste the opportunity to be able to have a relationship with someone, close quote. The river of time smooths the sharp rocks, right? Kevin Durant actually said this about their relationship, quote, I feel like they've always been friends. When you compete against each other in a series, of course you're not going to be that buddy-buddy. I think they've become better friends once they went through that experience of competing with one another and being rivals, as you would call it, close quote. And even LeBron seems to indicate the competitiveness of those finals matchups. It sort of overshadow a behind-the-scenes relationship, saying, quote, LeBron versus Steph. They should never smile against each other on the court. They should hate each other. Yeah, we get it. We understand that a lot of y'all may have grown up with the Bird Magic era and they shouldn't like each other, but I'm also old enough to know that Isaiah and Magic hugged each other and kissed each other on the floor too, because it was just mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm also old enough to know that, say, Michael Jordan, they said that he never talked to any of his opponents, but also smart enough to know that he and Charles Barkley had a lot of conversations going on during the 93 finals and also played golf against each other during it. Close quote. So maybe it wasn't maybe it wasn't as heated, but still. LeBron James' Halloween party 8 years ago after the Cavaliers came back from 3-1 deficit to beat the Warriors in the finals. LeBron had a drum kit with a 3-1 lead printed on it and had cookies shaped like tombstones with Curry and Klay Thompson's name on them. Then at Harrison Barnes' wedding following year, it appeared Curry mocked the LeBron James workout video, though Curry said he wasn't, saying, quote, look, through it all, there's obviously the utmost respect for who he is as a person and a player and how good he is in the challenge of trying to beat him and trying to solve that problem every year, close quote. Curry acknowledged that the edge began to soften when James left Cleveland for the Lakers in 2018. He said, quote, the dynamic changed. Even when we played in the playing game in 2021, you could feel it, but it wasn't the same. Even next year, our team was different, and the buildup wasn't the same, close quote. You could start to sense a change, at least publicly, in the relationship between the NBA stars when the NBA started using captains to select all-star rosters, which I don't understand it, but I digress. And James and Curry were the captains. They had fun together picking teams on the TNT broadcast, and then In 2021, they played on the same All-Star team. LeBron said about that experience, quote, I was just trying to find Steph like the whole first quarter, dribble handoffs to him, let him step back, hit shots, whatever the case may be. It was the first indication that playing together on the 2024 Olympic team might be a thing. Last summer, James and Curry discussed the idea via a phone call. Curry said, quote, I get to see a little different side of him and the work that he puts in and how he approaches practice and the way he talks and communicates. I get to see that side of it, which is really, really dope. He gets to see that from me as well. But we're all trying to put it all together where I see our games complement each other. And I think there's an appreciation at the highest level for what this 6-week experience is going to be and how our relationship can evolve and even deepen from that, close quote. LeBron says to follow that, quote, I know how much he loves to win and how much he loves to be in competition. So that's going to be cool. But just being around him off the floor, we've always had these short moments, either at an all-star game, we had these short pockets of time together. And it's been super organic and easy. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Close quote. So Steph and LeBron, they have started every game in the exhibition schedule, and they often run a play together. Curry sets a screen for James, making the defense choose. Let's see, give the chef a open three-point opportunity, or let LeBron simply be the bull in a China shop and drive to the basket against a smaller defender. Curry says, quote, we do it a little bit in Golden State where you have somebody else having the ball and me setting it, and I have a lot of different actions you can run. But if you get LeBron going downhill, good luck to anybody trying to stop him and having me coming off of that into space. Just try to make teams make decisions. And the more decisions you can make defense make, the better chances you have in creating confusion. Close quote. It makes you wonder if these Olympics aren't the last time that we will see LeBron and Steph run pick and rolls together on the same team. That is our cover story. When we come back, friendship. In the Bible, what does that look like and how should we be? Good question. You're watching BS3 Presents The Morning Shift for Cole Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, the BS3TVLive.com website, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. And you're listening to it live on the Real Wise Radio Network. We shall return right after this. Eric Butler, a.k.a.
The Intellect, a.k.a. Coloring. I'm the biggest diamond ever found on land, a.k.a. The Atlantic. Cold, deep, and choppy.
LaToya the Therapist, a.k.a.
Them kids' mama, a.k.a. Jeff's wife, a.k.a. LaToya the Therapist. I am a licensed professional counselor.
Beauty and Brains, clinical and principled, insightful and intelligent. BS3 Network proudly presents Perspective live every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central. Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 Network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready.
The Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central.
Bernstein.
NBA people are the best people ever. Everything that I've ever wanted to do was always sort of pointed towards the NBA.
Daniel Jones, I don't listen. I wasn't sold on him in the beginning either.
Then sort of Dan Quinn. Like, he may not be the greatest head coach, but one thing we do know is that he can coach defenses.
Mirren Fader.
If I did a biography on Hakeem Olajuwon, this is the first true international superstar.
Looking for the up-to-date information in the world of sports? The Real Deal with Courtney Harden. Live every Saturday at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Well, welcome back to the Morning Shift for Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. Glad that you're here, Shifter. And let's get right to it, shall we? Now, we've just talked about a budding friendship, and that is what's on display right now when we talk about what we're doing now. How does friendship look in the Christian realm? Here's lighting the way. Father God, in the name of Jesus, thank you so much for being amidst. Your word says that when two or three are together in your name, you will be in the midst. So I thank you for being here with the shifters and with me, as all of us want to shift this world to have them reflect what you want this world to be. And this message that you want me to impart upon the shifters, have it be devoid of my ego, my emotions, my thought process, and my soul. Let none of me and all of you be represented in what I'm going to dispense and disperse to the shifters. And may the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be always acceptable in your sight. Oh Lord, you are my strength, my rock, and my redeemer. In Jesus' name, amen. Friendship is a wonderful thing, isn't it? It's great that you have people who are tied to you, who look at you and they say, you know what, you're my person. And I love the fact that I can be myself mostly around you than anybody else, and that we get to share life together. It's a beautiful thing. And it's a beautiful thing to God. And there's many scriptures that deal with friendship. One of the biggest ones is Solomon. He's probably one of the biggest proponents of friends and friendships, and he says it in Proverbs often. So I could choose a couple that I know of, and I probably will say a couple of them in this message. But Jesus wanted me to impart, I guess, upon your heart and mind this one in particular that Solomon did write in the book of Proverbs, 18th chapter, 24th verse. It goes, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Once again, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And I think that's what we want most of all. We want to have somebody, and we call it ride or die. So I would say, what are some of the names of what this scripture lays out? You know, ride or die, day ones. I mean, we've heard those phrases, but that's what it means. It sort of is highlighting the second half of this particular verse. A friend who sticks closer than a brother. Your day ones, your ride or dies, your back in the good times days, the guys who stick, the guys who are tighter than pantyhose is two sizes small. That's what we want in friendships. That's what we want in our deep friendships. Because basically the beginning of it So, what does a man of many companions come to ruin? What does that mean? What it means, and we've seen it. Hollywood is a great example. You have many people who can say, "Yeah, this is a friend of mine, and this is a friend of mine, and this is a friend of mine," but really they're associates and they're acquaintances. Because when the going gets tough, they get off that sinking ship. Now, normally friends will stick with you, and they'll try to help you get to safety, or they'll help to actually get that ship back afloat. One or the other, but they won't relieve you. But there's many times, especially with scandal, and you see it in politics too, where you'd say, "Oh yeah, they're tight," but then when the room gets a little hot, they as my late great aunt used to say in the story she would tell about one of her brothers, they would get in the breeze. You don't want friends that get in the breeze. You want friends that'll stay with you and stick with you to the bitter end. So why do we need this reminder? Why do we need a reminder of? So if you have many companions, you might come to ruin. But you got to understand this special person who stays close to you. Why do we need this reminder? Well, we need it because I think we need to understand what friendship really is, what friendship really means. And friendship does not necessarily mean that this person just has good words to say about you. No, it means this person has your best interest at heart, and they will say something to you that is not an amen corner for you. They would say something to you that might be considered injurious to you. They might say something that will probably hurt your feelings, but they will do it out of love. They wouldn't do it out of hate or spite. So what does this mean when it comes to ultimate friends? How should we conduct ourselves? Well, if we see a person, in this case, a brother or even a sister, who when things get really, really bad, they are really, really there. You got to hold on to that friend. And you got to make sure that you return the favor when it's their turn and they're going through the furnace and they're going through the fire. Because I'm going to be very blunt with you. A close friendship is reciprocal. I'm going to say this again. A close friendship is reciprocal. If you're going through it and you got a friend who's there for you, you got to be there for that friend when he is going through it or when she is going through it. Otherwise, you're one of those many companions that will come to your ruin. You just can't be one that needs the help and needs the friends, and you have it and you get bailed out. But when you see the first sign of trouble for them, you bail out the other way. No. If that friend helped you out, help that friend out. That's what it means to be a friend. A friend that stays closer than a brother. Because we all need that. We all need that. And if you're not willing to be that, then that is not an indictment against them. That's an indictment against you. Be that friend that sticks closer than a brother. And I guarantee you, your world will be rewarded in ways that you cannot ever imagine. Because you'll find out that you actually have a brother or a sister that's there for you in ways that even family is not. And I'll give a special shout out to my brother Wise Alefe, the owner of Real Wise Radio, and my partner in Mentality. That is dedicated to you, my brother. You are that friend that stays closer than a brother. And it is a joy, a privilege, and a pleasure to call you friend, to call you brother, and call you my best friend. I thank you, man. And that will do it. And I love you too, man. And that will do it for this episode of The Morning Shift. I hope, Shifter, you enjoyed this. I thank you for joining me on this ride. Look, for all of us here at The Morning Shift, at Comey Media Incorporated, and also at BS3, I thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and sharing this video as well, and commenting. Thank you, Shift Nation. I will depart as I always do, and I will say in part in the following. If you lack commitment, you will never start. If you lack consistency, you will never finish. And if you lack love, you will most certainly, my friend, will never conquer. Until we meet again in 23 hours, go out in the world, preach the gospel to the ends of the earth, because you are a blessing. How do I know that? Because you've already been today a blessing for me. Hopefully today I've been a blessing for you. Have a great rest of your morning, great rest of your day. And until we do this again, have a wonderful day. I love you, Shifter. So long.